All right, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly how I close 42% of sales calls with prospects who have no idea who we are. These are complete strangers to us. They don't know who we are. There's no prior history between myself and the prospect. These guys are from complete cold ads, like they don't know who we are. And we do this without using any kind of crazy sales script or without coming across as salesy or without forcing the client to do anything that they don't want to do or anything of that nature. We actually do it by simply holding the prospect accountable to answers they've given us earlier. So let me get into the training and I'll show you exactly what this means. And I promise you, if you implement this on your next set of sales calls and you become very proficient at this process that I'm going to go through, you will see a massive increase in your sales call conversion rate. So with that being said, let's just jump straight in. So as I say, I close 42% of sales calls with this script. Now, it's actually not really a script, okay? That just looks good for a YouTube title, thumbnail, whatever. It's actually the discovery portion of your sales call. Okay, the discovery portion of your sales call is the most underutilized, underlooked, overstepped part of the sales call, but it's actually the most important part. Here's why. Most people in their discovery simply just ask questions because the questions are on the script, meaning they have a set of pre-wrote questions, and then on the sales call, they're like, question 1. Okay, cool. Question 2, question 3. And they're not trying to truly get the answers out of the prospect. Rather, they're just asking the questions because the questions are there. Instead, you need to flip that script and you need to ask the questions to get answers from your prospect, not just because they're on the script. That's a small mindset shift, but also what that will do is it changes the intent of the way you ask the question. And as you know, humans can sniff out intent from a mile away, right? And so by the very nature of your intent changing from one of asking the question because it's on the script to one of genuine curiosity, what also changes then as well is the answers the prospect gives you also change, because now they feel as though you actually want to know. You actually want to know the answer to the question that you ask, which again is going to open them up and give you a much more of an effective answer, which will allow you to close the sale easier at the end of the call. How does this play out? Well, it's simple. As I say, we're going to go through the discovery portion of the sales call, and at the end, I'm going to go through some objections and how you actually hold them accountable to answers they've given you previously in the call. Why does this work so well? It's simple. The highest driver of human behavior is to appear consistent. And so if a prospect says something in the beginning of the call and at the end of the call, they're saying something completely different, all you need to do is question the difference and instantly they're going to align with what they said earlier on in the call. It's as simple as that. And what they say earlier on in the call is the answers to these questions. So let me jump into it. I'll explain it and it will make a lot more sense as I go through, okay? So first things first, we need to figure out why the prospect's on the phone, right? What's their current situation? And the current situation typically is the reason they booked on a call. If you're an agency, you're a coach, or whatever you do, you help people do something, what you actually do is help them solve a problem. So the first thing we need to figure out is what's the problem, right? Believe it or not, we got to figure that out first, okay? So what's the problem? Then you want to figure out why is that a problem, okay? So there's always kind of like two problems. There's like the surface level problem and then there's the root cause. So for example, if you help people sign clients, well, the problem is I've not got any clients, but the root cause might be my offer's not good or whatever it is, right? Like maybe just use that as an example. I'm not signing clients, my offer's not good. The root cause is the offer and the surface level problem is the client. So you want to figure out both. Thirdly, you want to ask, what's that problem ultimately resulting in, right? This kind of gets a bit deeper into the pain of the problem, right? So I'm not signing clients. What's that resulting in? Well, it's resulting in me like living paycheck to paycheck right now. You know, every single month I'm hoping I'll get a new client just so I can pay the bills. You know, that's a bit of an extreme example, but you get the point, right? Like what's the problem resulting in? And then finally, how long has this been going on? How long have you been struggling with the lack of clients that you've been signing? Okay. Get these answers. Okay. Second part, what are you currently doing to solve the problem? Okay. What are the results of what you're trying to do? Oh, right now I'm running ads. Okay, cool. How are those ads performing? Dive deep into the specific metrics of it. Oh, I'm currently sending emails. How are those emails performing? Okay. Well, obviously, if that is the problem, right? So if the problem is I've got no clients, what are you currently doing to solve the problem? Emails. What are the results? Not good. Okay. Well, then obviously a natural next question to ask is, well, why isn't it working? What's the problem of the problem? Like, why isn't it working? Why are you not getting the results that you want? What this is going to allow you to do, it's going to show the prospect that they need your help. Very important. Okay, let's move on to the desired situation. So this is super simple, okay? All you need to ask is, assuming the problem was fixed, so assuming we was able to generate you a consistent flow of new clients, I mean, what's your ultimate goal? What do you want to scale the company to, okay? Like you want to get the desired situation. So now we've got current situation, desired situation. You guys have heard of current and desired before, right? Nice and easy. Okay, let's get into some more specifics. What's stopping them from getting to that goal on their own, okay? And by the way, these are questions that like I've kind of taken from what we have in our sales script, but you can kind of mold these to suit your offer more specifically, right? So as I say, what's stopping them from getting to their goal on their own, right? Why can't they solve the problem? Ask them that. Okay, cool. So you're currently sending emails, but it's just not, you're at a 0.4% meeting set rate. You can't close the leads that you are getting. I mean, I'm curious, like, what's the thing that's stopping you? You seem like a smart person, so I'm sure you could probably figure it out, but what's the thing stopping you from figuring it out today, right? Why can't you solve the problem on your own? Right? What's stopping them? Is it knowledge? Is it skills? Is it time? Is it finances? Right? Sometimes, like I say here, is it just a matter of wanting to move quicker? Right? Like we get a lot of people who, our clients are very, very smart, right? Our clients are doing above 50K per month, 25 to 50K per month at a minimum. We've got some clients doing 3, 4, 500,000 a month, right? Very smart people. So I know the things that we help our clients with, most of our clients could probably figure it out, right? Eventually, they do enough testing, they'd spend enough money on ads, and they'd eventually crack the code. So a lot of the time with our clients, they just want to move quicker, right? I literally was speaking to a prospect today, and she literally said that word for word. We just want to move quicker, right? We want to make a decision like today or tomorrow because we want to move quicker, right? This was on Messenger. But you want to figure out what is the thing that's stopping them from getting to that goal on their own. What is the thing? Is it knowledge? Is it skill? Is it time? Is it finances? Or is it that they can get there on their own, but they just want to move quicker? What is it? Get clear on that. What have they tried in the past to achieve their goal? This is by far my favorite line of questioning, simply because it will allow you to pretty much within reason sell anything to anyone. I'll show you why. So first of all, you want to ask, obviously if you're an agency, again, mold this to what you do. Have you tried similar agencies in the past? Have you tried similar services? What courses? Have you tried similar courses or coaching in the past, right? What about adjacent solutions? So for example, if you're a Facebook ad agency, they might have not tried Facebook ads in the past, but they've tried an adjacent solution, which is YouTube ads, all right? What adjacent solutions have you tried? And then you want to dive deep. This is where you want to get specific. Did they work? How was the results, right? Similar to up here, right? What are the results? What were the results, right? Okay, and again, they're always going to be bad because that's why they're on a call with you, because they're still experiencing the problem. So obviously the solutions they've tried in the past never worked, right? Believe it or not, they never worked. That's why they're on the call with you right now. So why didn't they work? What was the issue? Why didn't it work? Okay, what did you like about how that agency operated? Or what did you like about that course? Was there anything? Right? What didn't you like, right? And also, this is a really good question. Just out of curiosity, and again, this comes from the way you ask these questions. You can't just go, what made you buy that solution, right? You just come from a place of genuine curiosity, right? It's like, gotcha, I'm just curious. Like, what about that agency, kind of motivated you to join and work with them? Right? And that will help you just naturally know about like why people buy other things. And it might actually help you in the pitch part of the call, in the closing part of the call, to position what you do around what that thing was. Oh, I really liked the community element that those guys had. Like they had a really strong community amongst their clients. Cool. And then when you're pitching, you can go, and also we have a really strong community element, right? But what I like most about this past solutions kind of line of questioning is as follows. Most people have tried what you do in the past. Most of them have. And the problem is that most of them have been burned. I cannot begin to tell you how, I would honestly say about 95% of our calls that we have, and by extension, the clients that we work with, they've tried similar solutions to what we do in the past, right? We run like ads for our clients. We do it done for them. We coach on the sales side of things and whatnot. And essentially we guarantee sales calls and by extension clients, right? And most of our clients have worked with similar things in the past. And I guarantee you, probably 50% of the people who have tried similar solutions have been burnt, right? We literally signed a new client like 2 days ago or something, and he paid this other company. If I said the name, everyone would know who it is, but obviously I'm not going to. But he paid this company 16 grand up front, right? They had a guarantee, I think it was of like 100 sales calls a month, and this company literally delivered, I think he said it was either 1 call or it was 10 calls. One of the two, I can't remember exactly which one, but either way, and they didn't refund his money, right? So the problem is that if your prospects perceive you as the same as any type of potential solution that they've tried in the past, they're never going to buy if they perceive you as the same. And so what this line of questioning allows you to do is not necessarily, this doesn't allow you to hold them accountable at the end of the call to their answers, right? Like these do. These allow you to hold them accountable. And I'm going to get into here in a minute, objections and accountability. But what this line of questioning allows you to do is in your pitch, it allows you to position what you do as different. So for example, if they go, well, yeah, I tried this solution, it didn't work. Why didn't it work? Well, I kind of got palmed off to like a junior media buyer in this super large agency. I got palmed off to a junior media buyer. They didn't know what they were doing. I never spoke to the founder and I just felt like I was a number on a list. Okay, cool. That's why it didn't work. Keep that in the back of your mind, because then when it comes to your pitch, one of your pillars and your pitch is a whole different topic for a video, right? But one thing you can kind of reference is that, right now we actually have we only have a team of 3, and we actually have a daily. I personally, as a founder, jump on a daily call with our fulfillment team, and we run through every single client account. So you'll actually see about 9 a.m. every morning, you'll get a bunch of updates from the team, because that is the point at which we're on the daily fulfillment call, and we're actually going through your ad account at that specific point. So then that's when we update you and all that good stuff. Very subtle. And the client won't probably connect the two. But what you've just done is took the reason why the solutions in the past had failed, and you've shown, by virtue of positioning your offer in a certain way, you've now shown them that you're different to those things they've tried in the past. And this applies to everything. Another example would be, we tried ads in the past, didn't work. Okay, why didn't it work? Well, we ran this copy and this copy and this copy. There was just no drive for the prospects to want what we had. They didn't, whatever. There was no motivation. It wasn't able to instill motivation into the prospects. Okay, cool, gotcha. Move on. In your pitch, when you show how you run ads differently, one thing you could say is, one of our core values at the company is we always look at positioning our prospects as different and superior to every other solution that their prospects have to try. By the very nature of us doing that then obviously puts you as you play in a market of one or a market of one, and they choose you every single time by extension of positioning you as different and superior. And we do that through what we call an offer lead asset in our case, right? Using us as an example. And on average, our offer lead asset converts our prospects from lead to a book call at about 30%. So meaning out of every 100 people who view your VSL, 30% of them book in a call. And that's actually like part of our pitch. But you seen what I did there. The reason why they didn't get the result in the past is because of X. And so you've taken that and you've positioned yourself and your offer as different from that reason. And by extension, the prospect will then be able to see, okay, now I understand why I failed in the past. Now I can see why we didn't get the results in the past. And more importantly, I can see how what you have going on is better and superior and different. And it's actually going to get me the result. Okay. That's a little bit on solutions. Now, let's jump into the objections and accountability, okay? So for example, if you get this objection, right? I need to think about it, okay? Well, this goes back to the pain of the problem, okay? Because up here, what did we ask? What's the problem? Why is that a problem? How long is this, how long has this been going on? And ultimately, what is this resulting in? So what you're doing here is you're starting to build the pain of the problem, right? And so if they, at the end of the call, go, I need to think about it, well, what you can just instantly hit them with is, okay, gotcha. So just so I'm clear on my end, I mean, you've been struggling with your client acquisition you mentioned earlier you struggled with it for the last 12 months. Is that correct? Right. Gotcha. And one of the things you mentioned was you've been literally living paycheck to paycheck for that same time period for the last 12 months because you've been unable to consistently sign new clients. So I'm curious, what is there to think about specifically? Because from where I'm sitting, it seems as though this isn't a decision that you've just thought about now. It's a decision you've been thinking about and making really over the past, 12 months. So I'm curious what's really going on here. That was not that great, but you can see how I used what they mentioned earlier on in the call to hold them accountable. It's like, you just said this, now you're saying this. Like, help me understand this disconnect, right? And again, the highest driver of human behavior is to appear consistent, right? All right, next one here, which is I can do this on my own, okay? So what you wanna figure out here is, or what you wanna leverage here is their answer to what's stopping them from figuring it out. So again, what do we ask up here? What's stopping them from figuring out their goal on their own? Why can't they solve it on their own? What's stopping them? Is it their knowledge? Is it their skills? Is it their time? Is it their finances or lack thereof? Is it just a matter of wanting to move quicker, right? And if they say this, I can do this on my own. You could go something like, okay, gotcha. So just so I'm clear on mine, you earlier on in the call, you mentioned that you've been trying to figure out ads or client acquisition for the last 6 months. You said you spent 75 grand on ads and you signed 10 clients, which resulted in 60K. So you're down 15K over the last 6 months. I'm curious, what about the next 30 days makes you feel as though you're going to magically crack the code and, you're going to start to sign consistent high ticket clients every single day, right? So again, well, like you just said this, now you're saying this, what's really going on? That's really the framework that we're using here, right? All right, so another one here is, this is the same as what I've tried in the past. So again, this isn't necessarily, something that you actually handle in the objection part of the call. Reason being is because you should never get this objection. If you get this objection, then you've done your pitch entirely wrong. Because again, if you ask these questions in the beginning of the call, you now know exactly what they've tried that didn't work. So now you need to position what you do as different from that thing that they tried, which didn't work. That's it. Right? So then if you do that and you still get the objection of I've tried this in the past, then you didn't do a good enough job of differentiating what you do. Or number one, you didn't do a good enough job of differentiating, but also you didn't do a good enough job of positioning what you do as superior, because you could differentiate yourself from everyone. But if you're just different, but if you're just different, you're over here, but you're on the same level. So it's not going to work. You need to differentiate yourself, and then you need to be perceived as superior. Okay. But yeah, as I say, you need to position your offer is different to everything else that they've tried. And really, you shouldn't get this, to be honest. Otherwise, there is a problem with your pitch in particular, okay? And then another one here that I've got as an example is I don't have time. So again, this kind of like the pain of the problem, and it's the ultimate problem of the problem, okay? All right, so if they say they don't have the time, well, first things first, they're in a self-fulfilling prophecy, which is a problem, right? Because at the end of the day, if they don't have time to fix their biggest problem, then nothing is ever going to change, ever, because the problem's always going to maintain because they don't have the time. And nothing is going to magically decrease their workload if this is a consistent problem of never having the time, right? If they're always the same amount of busy. Sometimes you might run into the problem of like, oh, we're going through like a merger right now, or I'm on vacation, so I'm only working 2 hours per day or something like that. And by extension of that, they don't have the time. But that should only be a short problem, right? That's only for the next week. And then they come home next week and they're good to go, right? But if they say, I don't have the time in their normal workday, that's a real problem. And again, you can question it. You can go, okay, gotcha. So you don't I'm curious because earlier on the call, you mentioned that right now you are, again, I'm going to use the living paycheck to paycheck one just because it's an easy example. Earlier on the call, you mentioned that right now you're living paycheck to paycheck. But now you're telling me that you don't have the time to solve the biggest problem that you're facing in your business and ultimately your life right now. Is that, am I hearing that correctly? Right? So again, it just, a lot of the time prospects try and give you smoke screen because they don't want to make a decision. That's the problem. They just don't want to make a decision like, I'll think about it. Right? I'll make the decision later. But that never actually eventuates, right? So you need to question these things so that they face reality right here, right now on the call, and they make a decision. By the way, like as Alex Hormozi always says this, if their decision is no, that's fine. At least they made a decision. The problem is most people on sales calls, the prospect leaves without ever making a decision. I want my prospects to make a yes or no. That's what we're figuring out on the call. And that's ultimately what we're using all of this for. So this was like a 20-minute video. It's super short, so it's hard to go very deep into all of these different things. But this overall idea of using what the answers you get in discovery to handle your objections will massively help you increase your close rate. And one thing, again, I want to reiterate this on the questions that you ask. You need to make sure you ask it with the right intent, meaning you come from a place of genuine curiosity. And more importantly, you come from a place of genuinely wanting to help the prospect. That's super key. Never ask your questions just because it's a question on your script, okay? So hopefully this helped. If you found value in this, like the video. If you've got an agency or coaching business, you're above 25K per month, you want 90 qualified sales calls per month, that's what we guarantee you, or you don't pay, literally, you don't pay a cent, then click the link in the description and book in a call with us. We do this completely done for you. And with that being said, again, hopefully you found value in this video. Like it if you did, comment your thoughts. And with that being said, I'll see you in the next one.